You know, we saw them on tour, and before that chance, I really didn't think that these two guys would fall in with the performance aspect. They seem to love it.
Morgan Hamm joined by his twin brother Paul, and who knows, they may just stick around for Athens 2004.
As Elfie mentioned, he was an Olympic finalist on this event, floor exercise, and Al, I would be shocked if both of these athletes aren't in Athens come 2004.
So now there are judges here, Olympic medalists, Dara Torres among them, and here are the numbers. And in an event like this, I think everyone would tend to be on the generous side. Morgan likes the scores. Let's check out the judges. From the New Orleans Saints, quarterback Jeff Blake. Dara Torres, amazingly a gold medalist again. Amanda Borden, one of the Magnificent Seven from Atlanta 1996. And Kurt Ainsworth and Ben Sheets, representing the Olympic gold medal baseball team managed by Tommy Lasorda. And now out onto the floor, we go to Dominique MOCEANU. She has been fixed, in her own words. And of Dominique, I say what has been said before. Oh! Behave.
Actually, Al, it's pretty surprising that she's chosen floor exercise as one of her events, considering the knee. She's planning a third surgery in January that involves cartilage transplant. Pretty serious stuff.
Also planning to have her shoulder fixed around that same time. But this young lady's popularity is astounding. I did a search one time on the web and came up with literally hundreds of unofficial Dominique MOCEANU websites.
To the judges.
Wait a minute, this isn't allowed.
Yeah, this is illegal. Definitely, if she goes over there, this is breaking the rules.
Dominique MOCEANU and Morgan Hamm just getting us started at the 2000 Reese's Gymnastics Cup in New Orleans. Back in New Orleans, we'll check out the scores for Dominique MOCEANU. And they're a lot like Morgan Hamm, so we're not quite sure what all these scores mean just yet as we wait for a flow in the judging. But she's into it. Now, we mentioned that John MACREADY is here serving double duty, not only competing but helping to choreograph the other men's routines. And he's helping the Hamm twins here with their Superman performance on the high bar.
Man of Steel right there. It's him, I told you.
I should look around to everybody. Yeah.
27. Yeah. Now you hop down. Game chalk up right here again.
I probably will.
Yeah.
So, Tim, Elfie, you actually have to get into the role.
Okay, get ready.
Well, if you want to do it right, you got it, that's for sure.
Go up now.
Shouldn't be a problem on this event because he can fly.
I mean, that routine you there is about how long you're going to be up there.
Yeah.
You know, and you land, jump back up there, you're done. Okay? Easy enough.
Well, let's see how it turns out in reality, from practice to the real deal.
Paul had an amazing day. First outing at the Olympic Games, finished in the top 10 in the all-around. He's one of the gymnasts of the future for USA.
said he watched the show from last year and knew that John MACREADY was quite the star, was really pleased to have John choreograph these routines and pick out all the music.
Here he
Felt this
flies.
was really appropriate for high bar.
So there's Paul Hamm playing the role of Superman on the high bar.
Thank goodness he didn't forget his cape. And check this out. He is Superman.
All right, so everybody takes a seat on the couch after they're done performing. Jeff Blake, very tough. The other judges, a little bit more rewarding, and a 49-1 for Paul Hamm. He's saying, thanks, John MACREADY, for helping me choreograph. And now, showing a much different look than we've ever seen before, Morgan White, one of the saddest stories of the Sydney Olympic Games. She qualified, she made the team, she went through the mental torture of the Olympic trials, and then when she got to Sydney, she had a stress fracture in her foot and had to pull out.
Alan, like the men who are choreographing routines as individuals, they're picking individual routines. The women have actually chosen a theme for the first round of competition.
Her coach, Mary Lee Tracy, told me that this tour and this show right here in competition have been so good for Morgan, getting her back on track after the disappointment that she suffered in Sydney.
Let's go down on the floor to find Beth Ruyak. Beth.
Backstage here with Lance Ringnald, 1988 Olympics, 1992 Olympics, and then by 1995 you were out to sea. What's that all about, Lance?
I'm actually the star of a gymnastics show on the Norwegian Wind for Gina Ryan Productions, and I spend pretty much 3/4 of the year doing gymnastics at sea.
That's why we're going to hear you sing pretty soon, because that's part of the routine, I understand.
That's another passion of mine. Big Guns N' Roses fans.
How significant is it that you're here on land and at the Reese's competition?
This is like my Olympics. I haven't done gymnastics in an arena for about 5 years now, so it's like revisiting home, and I'm having a great time.
So gymnastics has kept Lance afloat, and here are the scores for Morgan White, and very high they are, 3 9-9s, a couple of 9-8s, and they total it out to 49.3. And now John Roethlisberger is getting in a Sunday afternoon frame of mind. And he is definitely trying to get a big score from Jeff Blake. He's wearing his jersey.
And if you've watched this guy in the past, everybody always comments, he looks so intense, he looks mean when he's competing, but John actually has a great personality, has a lot of fun, and he gets to show it off here.
To the big show.
Fumble.
Recovered.
How many football players can do this? John said he feels like a big kid being on tour. He's just having a great time.
Jeff Blake liking it. John Roethlisberger in his third and final Olympics, so he says, at Sydney.
Don't drop it. That's a pretty good catch.
Very nice.
Let's watch the technique here. Very, very strong spike there.
Yes, professional
Yeah,
level.
new gymnastic skill will add to the code.
John wanted the 10 from Jeff Blake. He got the 10 from Jeff Blake.
Surprise, surprise.
So the quarterback of the New Orleans Saints can be bought if you buy the jersey. 49-3. Back to New Orleans after this.
How U.S. gymnast Vanessa Atler eats a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. There's no wrong way to eat a Reese's.
Back in New Orleans, Al Troutwig, Tim Daggett, Elfie Schlegel, and this is the high bar routine of Chris Young, who's always been a very popular gymnast.
Chef's been a TV show, a movie recently, and now highlighting at a gymnastics competition.
47.4 the total for Chris Young. And we move on to, you have to call her the understudy to Svetlana KHORKINA, but ELENA PRODUNOVA in Sydney, Australia was bothered by a stress fracture in her foot, and that was one of the major reasons that she underperformed to KHORKINA's standard.
Yeah, Al, we actually didn't see the real PRODUNOVA shine in Australia. Unfortunately, because of her injury, she's a very powerful gymnast, but she is a showgirl. She loves to have fun, and she is doing exactly that in this event.
Another Grease number.
Improvising just a little bit on her Olympic routine.
Chewing gum while she performed. So, ELENA PRODUNOVA with Dominique MOCEANU enjoying this.
And this is how she starts off the show because of that hurt leg.
Just landing on the other foot.
Yeah,
Yeah, not putting any weight on it whatsoever.
Big numbers for ELENA PRODUNOVA, along with Svetlana KHORKINA, coming from Russia to the United States, doing the talk show circuit and really embracing the opportunities that can come here in the United States. So we've got a very close gender competition, and here is Blaine Wilson wrapping himself in an American flag, the five-time U.S. national champion. He did not come home from Sydney with the Olympic medal that many people thought he could have, but here he is, moving on.
Well, if there has been a boss of USA Gymnastics, it has been Blaine Wilson.
I actually think that Blaine is rethinking his whole career. He hasn't exactly decided to retire. We might possibly see him next year at the World Championships.
No, I think we will, actually. He told me he's got 3 events that he already thinks he can start with the new code at a 10.0 on. If I could have picked a piece of music and an artist to perform to in front of a big crowd, Springsteen, man, all the way. Gotta love it.
Well, John Roethlisberger stayed in till he was 30. Maybe I can too.
So Blaine Wilson showing us the attitude that we've seen for all these years at USA Gymnastics. That attitude. A healthy dose of confidence. Does he stick around? What's your guess, Tim?
Oh, yeah, he's definitely going to hang around for at least 1 year, and in the end, I think it'll be 4.
Scores for Blaine Wilson. Couple of tough ones, but 3.99s. It's a 49-2 as the men have some catching up to do. Well, the United States Gymnastics men and the women, in summary in Sydney, you just have to say it didn't work out. But the rededication that Amy Chow showed in getting herself onto the Olympic team, well, that worked out just fine.
In this routine, you're actually not going to see a whole lot of flash from Amy. Her big selling point is the big skills. That's what she's going for. Talent.
I'm so proud of both of you. Not one of you has said yet that they took the extra step. Amy Chow trying to keep the women's team in front of the men. No masking their desires here. Still to come in New Orleans, Lance Ringnauld and Shannon Miller. Back in New Orleans, Amy Chow side by side with Blaine Wilson, and Amy's numbers are as follows. Total of 49.3. The women leading the men. But it's all in good fun. All right, here's Lance Ringnauld. He's been on a cruise ship for years, a member of the 1988 Olympic team. He says this is his Olympics.
Lance has been a gigantic Axl Rose fan for as long as I've known him. And folks, this is him. The music and the lyrics. Here you go.
Take me down to the paradise city where the grass is green and the girls are pretty. Won't you take me home now?
And he is totally psyched to be on a spring floor. He's been performing for 5 years on wood.
Take me down to the paradise city where the grass is green and the girls are pretty. Take me home.
When I first saw this guy, I was getting near the end of my competitive career, and I was blown away. So talented, so incredible in the air, could do everything, and I mean everything on high bar. Really a tremendous athlete.
He looks like Jim Carrey a little bit, doesn't he?
All right, folks. It's time for you to help me out here.
He's got that thing happening.
I'm going to sing one, and you're going to sing one. We're going to do it 3 times.
Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Let me hear you, people. You folks are gonna be on TV, so let's blow this roof off here. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Let me hear ya. That's what I want to hear. One more time. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Come on, people, let me hear ya. That's it.
Well, a routine born on the high C's, but Lance wants to get some high A's to help out the men's team. Must be nice doing this when it's not moving underneath you like it is on the ship, you
A little
know?
more stable. In practice this morning, as I said, he was so psyched. He said it feels so good to be back on a spring floor. It's been 5 years.
And here are the numbers for Lance Ringnald. They loved it. 10s across the board, a perfect 50. Beth Ruyak is down on the floor.
Okay, Lance, what's that tell you about this Olympics you're at?
Oh, it feels so nice to do this. This is great. I'm having such a great time. Rock out. These guys have been so great, and I just love performing. Got to sing in front of people. That's awesome.
Okay, do you have more surprises for us still ahead?
I'm not talking. I'll let you see.
I love the way Beth got in there. I mean, she pounced on Lance on the couch there. So here's Shannon Miller. And did somebody lock all the gymnasts in a room and replay the movie Grease like 6 times? What's going on here?
They just got together and they decided that was the theme for the first round. They've got a totally different theme for the next round. But let me tell you, Shannon Miller is in the best shape that she has ever been in. I think this lady is looking down the road. There are more competitions in the future.
Which would be astounding if that's the case, but I have to agree, Elfie, she looks more fit. She actually comes in on the tour stops, does extra training, conditioning. What's this lady thinking about?
She's thinking about a 55 Chevy, Tim. One day where you don't have to worry about sticking the landing.
Yeah, this is all about putting on a show for those judges. But I'll tell you, Shannon came in. We talked about her intensity. She's been really serious in this practice. Others have been lounging around, but not her.
Down, one to go. Rock on.
So we've got this couch thing sort of building over there at the New Orleans Arena. And 9-9s all the way across for Shannon Miller. We'll throw out that Jeff Blake 9-8.
They were generous.
No, that was
Still to come, John MacReady and Jamie Dantzscher at the Reese's Gymnastics Cup. Last time, John MacReady was the Terminator. Let's see what he's got in store for us here, the 96 Olympic team member at the Reese's Gymnastics Cup.
He actually was trying to figure out a way to outdo himself from last year's routines, which were so awesome. He said his brother Oliver came up with this idea, said the WWF is big time now.
Do you smell what The Rock is cooking?
Yeah, I smell it. I don't know if it's you or you're cooking, but boy, do I smell it.
Are you talking to me? The Rock? The king of the high bar?
You're the queen of the pound scheme. I'm the king of the high bar. Watch it all.
Tim, did you ever do an event like this?
I can guarantee you Tim never did anything like this.
Not like this.
Yikes!
The Rock is winning. Oh no! He's got The Rock in a headlock. Oh no! Here comes John Roethlisberger. Ooh, what a save by Roethlisberger. Oh no! What is this? Yes, oh no, I don't understand. No, I mean, what they're gonna do is they're not. No, it couldn't be. Bob. They couldn't be getting together. No, I mean, what they're gonna do. Oh no! Dummy, watch out! Oh my God!
That's pretty neat.
Very wild.
Yeah, that's one thing. You have to make sure once you dismount, you get out of the way.
Let's be it. 2, and 3. The Rock wins. The Rock wins. The Rock's on his way to the king of the ring.
What do you say?
I actually couldn't believe he was about to do this. Man,
Look at the extension.
he's crazy.
John and John, best of friends. Olympic teammates in 1996.
And MACREADY trying to raise the roof. Gets 3 perfect 10s. That'll help the men out in a big way. Especially considering Lance Ringnald's perfect 50.
People's elbow. I'm about to take it to Jamie. I'm giving her people's elbow.
Jamie! Go, Jamie!
And here is Jamie Dantzscher, who was maybe the surprise story, a comeback at her young age, if you will, to make the Olympic team that went to Sydney. Now I'm getting serious with this video in a room thing. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Good news for the Dantzscher family. Jamie's father was actually involved in a very serious car accident during the Olympic Games. He's actually back home now in the U.S. and doing much better.
I'm not sure Jamie was born when Reese was out. But obviously that movie has made a major impact on the gymnasts here in New Orleans.
Come on down to Rock's couch. You happy? What's your name? It doesn't matter.
So obviously, as you can see, this is a let it loose day for the performers.
Now, following this competition and all the tour stops, Jamie's actually going to be attending UCLA on a gymnastics scholarship in January.
So something's brewing with her future. Here are 3 10s for Jamie Dantzscher, 49.8. And I have a feeling that's going to keep the women just slightly in front of the men. So high fives all around, and still to come, the gymnastics stars here, the gold medalists, ALEXEI NEMOV and SVETLANA KHORKINA. ALEXEI NEMOV, the Olympic all-around gold medalist. And in this sport, there is nothing cooler or nothing greater that you can do than win the Olympic all-around gold medal.
If you asked every single one of the men that competed at the Olympic Games before the meet began, what was your ultimate dream? It was to become what ALEXEI is.
Bad to the bone.
Wide wonder at the joy they had found. The head nurse spoke up, said leave this one over. I was tired of the bone.
Somehow I knew that was coming off.
He took that shirt off at the Olympic Games. Dara Torres is a fan, and so are the guys.
ALEXEI's actually going to be touring in the U.S. up until about December the 5th. That's when he'll be able to go home, see his new baby son.
15 there.
Well, here are the real numbers.
How do you not give the Olympic champion perfect marks across the board?
Right. That is the second perfect score for the men. Now, after the ridiculousness of the vault not being the right height for the first half of the competition, victimizing among others SVETLANA KHORKINA, she went on to win the gold medal on the uneven bars, and she is styling too.
She has wanted to act her whole life. Giving the gymnastic fans a real show. This is her move right there.
That was still Olympic level.
Yeah, that was her routine. She's got the package. She knows how to perform.
She didn't learn that at Round Lake.
Oh, she knows how to pour it on. She's a great athlete.
Well, she was dramatic at the Olympic Games. You think she's not going to be in this environment?
Nice. Nice job. Okay, guys.
So it's a Russian couch. And big numbers again. Everybody loved it.
Okay, you two, so you are perfect here in America. They love you, Sveta.
Yeah. I love America. I love Reese's Cup. I love my team, girls team. Champions, champions, only champions.
Alexei, both 10s. Alexei, they're screaming for you. They love it when you're on the floor.
I love it too. My floor exercise.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Beth, so after round one, the women lead the men by about 1.5 points. More Reese's Gymnastics after this. In the Olympics, the women of Russia finished in second place in the team competition. And for a group of women expecting gold, that was a tearful disappointment. ELENA PRODUNOVA, too tough to cry, had an additional burden to bear, competing on a badly injured foot.
I think everybody know that my foot's not good in an Olympic game. I have broke now, but Olympic game not good.
That fracture meant PRODUNOVA watched the all-around competition from the seats, but she was far from finished. Yes, tough enough and good enough to medal again in the balance beam finals.
I have bronze medal in the beam and silver in the team. For me, this is important.
And you got the feeling in Sydney that if they had the vault at the right height and her foot was healthy, the Russians would have blown everybody away.
And actually, Elena says that her foot was broke. What she really meant and what the injury actually is a hairline fracture.
The retro night continues. Grass skirt is, I don't know, it's like over the top. And I say that because in symbolism, that and the music is just about as far away from Moscow as you can get.
She says she's having a great time on tour and with this competition, but really looking forward to getting back to Russia, not only Moscow, but going back to her hometown of Rostov.
Beach Boys number for ELENA PRODUNOVA.
Yeah, it really was a shame that she was so beat up in Sydney, Australia. One of the great gymnasts, one of the great personalities out on the floor.
And in the spirit of the music, SVETLANA, KHORKINA, and MOCEANU have a few beach balls for the crowd here in New Orleans. Jamie Dantzscher too. There's a great spirit in this building. I mean, there's nothing serious about it. Sure, there are numbers and there's judging, and anytime you put competitors in an arena like that, they're going to want to win. But it's all being competed in the right frame of mind. Witness Paul HAMM
Jokingly, he said, well, I was kind of portrayed as the farm boy at the Olympic Games, so why not do a number?
You know, Tim, both Morgan and Paul are both very good tumblers, aren't they?
They can jump, no doubt about that. Paul actually followed Alexei Nemov in the all-around finals at the Olympic Games and had one mistake on high bar, but everywhere else, I tell you, on every event, you could see that this guy has got a huge future.
So the straw hat gets put away for another year next to the grass skirt of ELENA PRODUNOVA. But here are the numbers for Paul HAMM. And 9.9s and a perfect 10 for a 49.6. Remember, the women are leading this event, the Reese's Gymnastics Cup. And now we go to Jamie Dantzer, all grown up.
Jamie Dantzer.
Just like a day at the beach for Jamie Dantzer. Easy stuff.
Oh yeah, this young lady will fit right in at UCLA. I don't know about you, but go Bruins.
Yeah, enrollment will be up. Jamie Dantzer into that Southern California frame of mind. The Reese's Gymnastics Cup continues in a moment. We'll get her marks. Back in New Orleans, where Jamie Dantzer is alone on the couch, and we're not sure why. But anyway, here are her numbers. A couple of perfect 10s, and that will keep the gymnastics women in front of the gymnastics men here at the Reese's Gymnastics Cup. Now, the difference is growing smaller. It's now 1.3 points in the current standings, but a lot more to come. And right now, it's Morgan White. Totally new hairstyle.
Not one or two, but 3 haircuts since Sydney.
There she was, just walking down the street singing.
Well, Morgan says she's not sure exactly what her future will bring with relation to competitive gymnastics. I, for one, hope that she decides to stick around because she's a tremendous athlete, and nobody deserves what happened to Morgan, not getting to compete at those games. That was a travesty.
And of course, divorced him. That might be the one reason why she does decide to come back. And there might be some signs of that happening, because when she left the Sydney Olympics, she asked her coach, Mary Lee Tracy, for the new rules heading into the next 4 years. So that was a positive sign.
Rough as it was for Morgan White, it was equally tough on Mary Lee Tracy, her coach. For a while, Mary Lee thought she had 3 gymnasts, Alyssa Beckerman, Dominique MOCEANU, and Morgan. That would be a triple ticket to the Olympics, and when all fell out, she didn't have one.
Showing some real gymnastics here. This is a flip-flop to an anodi.
That was a skill that she performed all year long, right through to the Olympic trials.
And here we go. Very well received. 3 10s, a couple of 9 9s. And that'll do the women solid here in New Orleans. Meanwhile, Blaine Wilson steps to the floor.
I'd be going on, starting 23 years of gymnastics. I mean, that's a long time to be doing gymnastics. And that's all I've been doing most of my life, so.
Despite 23 years of getting ready, Blaine Wilson faltered in Australia, his second Olympic Games. Like his first in Atlanta, it seemed disappointing, but that's not the way he looks at it.
You're put on this planet to do with your ability the best that you can. And, you know, I think that I did the best that I could at that time. So I don't even worry about it. A medal doesn't make you a man. I've been learning from my mistakes since I was 9 years old when I first started competing in gymnastics. I'm going to learn a lot from the Olympic Games that just happened, and even from the Olympic Games before that. But you just move on.
Push the tempo, 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 push the tempo.
Now, Blaine Wilson is relaxing on a gymnastics tour and taking part in events like this one. But serious gymnastics is still on his mind. He's not satisfied after all.
I want to stay around, definitely, for gymnastics, because I think I still have some gymnastics left in me. But I will be back for the next year to compete in Belgium.
And Belgium, as we've talked about, could be the future destination for Blaine Wilson. It is going to be the future destination for the World Championships in 2001.
U.S. national champion, Blaine Wilson.
I have to believe that after last year's near bronze medal finish at the World Championships, that there was some part of Blaine Wilson that fully expected to be on the podium at the Olympic Games.
No grease for Blaine.
Yeah, he's taking some tips from ALEXEI NEMOV. Figures it works for him.
So Blaine Wilson trying to work the crowd here at the Reese's Gymnastics Cup.
A skill that is always so impressive to the audience. The flares right in front of the judges.
And you know what, guys? As the American gymnasts went through Sydney and went through the gymnastics in the Olympic Games and had many disappointments, time and time again, I appreciated the positive angle that they took on it, but I never understood the entire time what was wrong with saying, we didn't win a medal, and I'm really mad about it. So here we go to Amy Chow.
Olympic silver medalist on 100 bars, Amy Chow.
Amy's got a prop.
Let's go surfing now, everybody's moving now. Come on, with me.
And it's off. What's so impressive about Amy, just like floor exercise, she's going to wow the audience and the judges with her skills. This is what she did at the Olympics.
Yeah, if you think Amy Chow can't swing bars, you don't think right, that's for sure.
Did you see that wave in the middle of the routine?
Very impressive.
Oh, it's so hard in gymnastics to pull off an event like this, is to use the props and sort of do that opening preamble and then attach it to the routine. I mean, because you can't be doing this stuff with a straw hat or sunglasses on.
And you absolutely need the personality to back it up. Amy tends to let her gymnastic skills speak for themselves.
This is the exact release combination she did in Sydney, Australia.
And we're not sure how many more times Amy Chow will be judged in a gymnastic sense, but there she goes, and her teammates behind her like it. A few detractors in the crowd, they don't understand. They don't understand the 9-9s.
What are those baseball guys thinking?
Well, they're baseball guys, Tim. All right, we go to an artisan on the high bar. The gold medalist on this apparatus, ALEXEI NEMOV.
Welcome the 2000 Olympic high bar gold medalist, ALEXEI NEMOV.
He's going to take the judges and the audience back to Sydney.
And you know, we've had grass skirts and bikinis and shades and, you know, all that stuff. He still looks like he's in a competition.
And this is gymnastics right here.
What was so impressive in the rehearsal earlier this morning.
Was that he took his shirt off to you?
Well, no. He actually performed all his routines. He was very serious, and it's so wild for me to see him in the show sense. He really does pour it on for the audience.
ALEXEI NEMOV, he qualifies in the most elite group of gymnasts, not just all-around champion. He is one of the all-time greats of gymnastics. He has had the opportunity to get home and see his son and his wife, but only for a very short time. Says he gets a little bit depressed when he calls home.
Yeah, he's really, really sad. He said it's very hard to be away from them, but he calls them every day.
Well, this is his career time, right? I mean, this is trying to take the Olympics to the bank.
That's for sure, and that's why he is out on tour.
And ALEXEI NEMOV, I'm sure, will be justly rewarded by the panel. Yes, it's hard to find fault in his attitude, in his presentation, or in his gymnastics. Well, the men trying to keep it close with the women here in the Reese's Gymnastics Cup. Still to come, we get another look at DOMINIQUE MOCEANU and John Roethlisberger. Al Trowig, Tim Daggett, Elfie Schlegel, Beth Ruyak back at the New Orleans Arena here in Louisiana. And another look at DOMINIQUE MOCEANU. Seems like everybody wants to have sunglasses on or perform to Grease or whatever. Music, please.
Drums, please.
Doctors have actually told Dominique that they didn't think it was wise for her to get back to serious gymnastics, and her response to that was, well, I've dealt with pain all my life. There's no reason why I can't continue to do so.
Elfie, who did all the women's choreography today? Carmen Electra?
No, actually Mary Wright from the Olympus Gymnastics School did all the choreography. She was a one-time national coach, invited the girls to come to her gym, and she and her staff took it from there.
Just kidding. It's just that everything has sort of that edge to it.
I do know that the girls picked out their own outfits.
How about that belly button stuff she's got going? Did she pick that out too?
It's kind of like the glitter that we saw in Sydney, Australia.
Back then I didn't really know what it was, but now I see what happened is the way that people respond to summer madness. The weather is hot and girls are dressing less and checking out the fellas to tell them who's best. Riding around in your Jeep or your Benzos, or in your Nissan sitting on Lorenzo's. Back in Philly, we be out in the park. A place called the Plateau is where everybody go. Guys out hunting and girls doing likewise.
Dominique MOCEANU.
Jeans are too heavy.
Yeah, Dom. Yeah, Dom.
I wasn't gonna do it.
Hey, it's just like my pants problem.
She looks pretty good for someone who just had knee surgery.
Yeah, actually, it's surprising that she's able to do what she can. And in fact, I think it was a big surprise for Mary Lee Tracy to see her throw a double back for her dismount. Remember, the falls aren't an automatic 5/10 deduction here.
No, this is all about being aesthetically pleasing, and MOCEANU gets a 49.3. So now we have a complete change in atmosphere. We go from the lightness of Dominique MOCEANU to the very heavy Braveheart, John Roethlisberger.
And he'll have to be a warrior here. He told me before tonight began that his body, it is just killing him. And he says, rings hurts the most, and I'm doing rings. What's wrong with me?
What is he thinking?
Show off.
William Wallace had 59. Must take effort was gone. 100 men with his own sword. Cut through them like Moses through the Red Sea.
Yet another solid performance.
Ooh. Where's my cane? That's good. Nice job. Come on, judges.
Come on, judges. And they liked it. Music and muscularity for a 50. It's the third one, the third perfect 50 the men have had today. We'll be back to New Orleans in a moment.
Hey, it's gotta be the
Here in New Orleans, the Reese's Gymnastics Cup is suddenly very, very close. The women have only a 0.2 of a point lead over the men. And here we go on the floor to Vanessa Atler. Vanessa was one of those women that night in Boston at the Fleet Center who heard the bad news that she would not be going to the Olympic Games. And she said all she did was stay home with her family, watch the games, and eat potato chips.
Actually, if you go to Vanessa's very famous website, you'll find that she makes no comments on any commitments towards future competitions. She says for now she's just having a blast on tour.
About a year before the Olympic Games, she switched gyms and moved down to Texas, has recently moved back home to California, so she is a California girl.
We'll see how it plays with the judges. Remember, the women need some big numbers here. The men are catching up.
Notice they took the white lines out. We can't tell if she actually went out of bounds.
And the judges give Vanessa Adler a 49.5. We've spent a lot of time in the 60s with the Beach Boys. We've spent it in the 50s with Grease. And we go to the 70s.
Disco.
Chris was a 1999 World Team member, but tore his Achilles tendon after that competition and really made it impossible for him to make that 2000 team. Did valiantly try, but fell short.
I have a question. Can he tumble with the hair on?
We will soon find out.
He's got the moves.
Al, I think I saw you do that once.
You got to admire good choreography when you see it. He can tumble with the hair on.
Ask Chris about how the plans are coming along, looking for a gymnastics school. He has a goal of opening up a gymnastics center for kids. He says he's still looking for the right facility.
And at this point, he is not sure if his career competitively is over.
So Chris Young stays intact somehow.
One heck of a nice guy and a whole heck of a lot of hair.
You're just jealous. I know I am. And we'll see now if the men can move in front. And a 0.2 difference plus Vanessa Atler's score. There's Vanessa.
Chris, give me one. Give me something.
What's it going to be? And the judges loved it. The fourth perfect 50 for the men. And what that will do to the standings, after a quick calculation and a pose, is give the men the 3/10 lead. Beth Ruyak is up there on the podium. Beth. There she is.
What a comeback!
Yeah, that high bar routine was a little bad, so I had to make up.
This is some amazing hair you've got going here.
Yeah, it's I grew it out in between events. It's pretty good, huh?
How do you keep it on?
But don't tell anybody.
All right, secret's safe. Congratulations, Chris.
Thank you.
Okay, back to you, Al.
All right, Beth, so we get to the bottom of the question we all had. Just how on earth did Chris Young do that? The men have the lead, and the Reese's Gymnastics cut back to New Orleans after this. Here in New Orleans, the most decorated female gymnast from the United States, Shannon Miller, who just missed a return to the Olympic Games.
Performing on an apparatus that won her a gold medal back in 1996.
There's a place called Kokomo. That's where you wanna go. Bodies in the sand, tropical drink, magic in your hand. We'll be falling in love to the rhythm of a silver band. Down in Kokomo.
I don't know, guys. She's got a very serious, competitive look out there.
Watch this. They call this the Miller.
Shannon's problem at the Olympic trials was that she was injured, and all along, Bella Caroli said he would not take an injured gymnast to Sydney.
She had that big fall at the Olympic trials, and I asked her how it's been since then. She said she just stung it. It was injured. She stung it there, but really not that big of a deal.
Oops.
And so remember the deal here. The women had the big lead. Slowly but surely it went away. Last we saw, the men had moved in front by a couple of tenths.
And partly because the men have been entertaining. Shannon and her husband, Chris Phillips, actually did end up going to the Sydney Olympics as spectators. Shannon said it was really weird to be sitting in the audience and watching. Wished that she was out there.
Here are the numbers for Shannon Miller. Mostly 9.9s with a 9.8, 49.4. Now remember, the men have put up a bunch of perfect 50s here today in New Orleans. And we'll see if they can keep that up now as we get to the high bar. And Lance Ringnald, remember, he has been performing for years on a cruise ship. It's the second Russian appearance for the grass skirt. This time it's on SVETLANA KHORKINA. And for many people, one of the more intriguing athletes of the Olympic Games in Sydney. A little nerve to go to the floor with an upbeat song like Wipeout. She loves to put on a show. In fact, at the Olympic Games, she was talking about how it's so difficult for her to get through a day of training at the place they call Round Lake outside of Moscow, where the Russian gymnasts train. She lives for those times when she's in the arena and the arena is full.
There's no question that Svetlana has fit in extremely well in this type of tour, this type of exhibition where she can really just let go and be herself and pour it on. She's quite the actress.
Yeah, she's got a Twiggy-like quirkiness, no doubt about it. Morgan White said, "That's awesome." And the judges agree. The women put up a perfect 50 to keep pace with Lance Ringnald and the men.
She's really got to learn to come out of her shell.
So we've come down to one last performance, and it'll be for the men to decide this Reese's Gymnastics Cup. John MACREADY on the floor. John comes from a family of performers, so it's in his blood.
The one and only John MACREADY.
Since retiring, he's been participating in a number of summer camps as well as doing a number of appearances. And of course, enjoying this type of atmosphere, the show.
Boy, they are loving this here in the New Orleans arena.
Ever since he was a little kid, John MACREADY, he could jump with the best of them.
The music is compliments of Stephen Gordy, son of Barry Gordy, the founder of Motown.
To me, guys, that was the best mix of music and gymnastics. John MACREADY.
Yeah, you can really tell that this is just not something that he got contracted to do. He loves doing this stuff. You can see it.
Yeah, John's been thinking about his new routines for after last year's Reese's Cup.
They are handing in the numbers. Looks like the men think they've got it won. And another set of perfect marks. And yeah, John MACREADY is digging this. A little punctuation mark for this Reese's Gymnastics Cup. And that will give the men a 9/10 of a point victory. Let's go to Bulldog Beth Ruyak.
All right. You told us that was going to be something special.
Yeah, it was fun. It's tired. I'm a little out of breath, but crowd is awesome, and competition was a lot of fun. Girls was great. The guys did a great job, so I'm really happy all around.
All right, so congratulations to John MACREADY, Lance Ringnald, and the rest of the men. They've won the Reese's Gymnastics Cup. We'll wrap it up in a moment.
NBC's Sports World is brought to you by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Remember, there's no wrong way to eat a Reese's. And by the rugged new Montana from Pontiac. Life is more exciting in Montana.
So a come-from-behind victory for the men in the 2000 Reese's Gymnastics Cup, and it was the performance of John MACREADY on the floor that put them over the top.
1, 2, 3. Who let the dogs out?
Sort of the anthem of the year 2000.
We did it! The men win!
So everybody had fun, and that's what this event was all about.
And Lance with one of his perfect routines right here.
Elfie?
Yeah, if you take a shirt off, you usually get perfect scores.
ALEXEI NEMOV showing off his gold medal form and more. And the very popular SVETLANA HORKINA styling again. Thanks for joining us for the 2000 Reese's Gymnastics Cup. For Beth Ruyak, Tim Daggett, and Elfie Schlegel, I'm Al Trautwig. An update is coming your way.